This planet often feels familiar. We walk on it every day, build cities, create roads, and live our lives thinking we understand the ground beneath us. But the reality is very different. We understand far less about Earth than most people think. Humans have only managed to drill about 12 kilometers into the Earth's surface. That may sound like a lot, but the Earth's crust can be up to 50 kilometers thick in some places. This means we have not even reached halfway through it. The deeper scientists tried to go, the more difficult it became. Temperatures increased beyond expectations. Machines started to fail. Metal parts weakened under the heat, and equipment stopped working properly. Eventually, progress had to stop. Everything below that depth is still unknown. Not just unexplored, but truly unknown. No human has ever seen it directly. No camera has recorded it. Scientists rely on indirect data like vibrations and models to understand what might be there. However, the places in this list are different. These are real locations where humans have reached extreme depths. Places filled with darkness, pressure, silence, and mystery. Let's begin. Number 10. In England during the 1800s, workers were given a simple task: dig a well to find water. It sounded straightforward. The plan was to complete it within a few months. But the ground beneath them turned out to be much harder than expected. Instead of months, it took 4 years. There were no modern machines or advanced tools. Everything was done by hand. Workers used basic equipment and relied entirely on physical effort. As they dug deeper, conditions became more difficult. The air grew colder. Light from above slowly disappeared. The space became tighter and more uncomfortable. Still, they continued. Eventually, they reached a depth of 392 meters. Imagine being lowered into such a narrow space, surrounded by darkness, knowing how far you are from the surface. That well still exists today. It serves as a reminder of human determination and how far people are willing to go, even with limited tools. But manual digging has its limits. The next location goes far beyond what human strength alone can achieve. Number 9. In Mexico, there is a large sinkhole that appears calm and peaceful from above. The water looks still, almost inviting. But beneath the surface, it is something entirely different. Divers have tried to explore it. One highly experienced diver entered and never returned. Another diver managed to reach a depth of over 280 meters, but still could not find the bottom. Because of these challenges, a robotic mission was launched. A remote-controlled explorer was sent down into the water. It continued descending deeper and deeper, mapping the environment as it went. At 339 meters, the robot still had not reached the bottom. Instead, it discovered something unexpected: microorganisms living in extreme conditions. These organisms survive without sunlight and with very little oxygen. This environment is so unusual that scientists study it to better understand how life might exist on other planets. Even today, the true depth of this sinkhole remains unknown. Number 8. Hidden beneath the Czech Republic is one of the deepest underwater caves ever found. Exploring it is extremely difficult, so researchers used a robotic vehicle to go deeper. The machine descended past 200 meters, then 300, then 400. At 473 meters, the cable attached to the robot ran out, but the cave did not end there. Sensors suggested that it continued even deeper. The water inside this cave is unusual. It is warm and rich in minerals, creating a thick environment that affects visibility. At certain depths, light disappears completely. There is no visibility at all, only darkness. No human has ever reached the bottom of this cave, and its full depth is still unknown. Number 7. In the Bahamas, there is a location that looks like a perfect tropical paradise. Clear water, bright sunlight, and soft sand create a peaceful scene. But just a few steps forward, the ground suddenly drops. There is a vertical underwater hole that goes down more than 200 meters. Divers from around the world visit this site. Some want to set records, while others simply want to explore. However, not all of them return safely. As divers go deeper, their bodies begin to struggle. Oxygen levels decrease and thinking becomes slower. Darkness surrounds them, and the distance back to the surface becomes harder to manage. From above, it looks beautiful, but below, it is extremely dangerous. Number 6. Deep inside a mountain lies a cave system that extends more than 2 kilometers underground. Exploring this place is not a simple trip. Teams spend weeks inside, setting up camps along the way. They eat, sleep, and live in total darkness. At certain depths, communication with the surface becomes impossible. There is no signal, no contact, and no immediate way to call for help. The silence in these environments is intense. It feels heavy and isolating. Explorers must rely entirely on their preparation and teamwork. One mistake can have serious consequences, as rescue operations are extremely difficult at such depths. This is one of the deepest environments humans have explored on land. Number 5. Now imagine going even deeper, into a mine nearly 4 kilometers below the surface. At this depth, the temperature of the surrounding rock becomes dangerously high. Without cooling systems, survival would not be possible. Large machines pump cold air into the tunnels to maintain a livable environment. But there is another aspect of this place that many people do not know about. Some individuals live and work there illegally, deep within abandoned sections of the mine. They stay underground for long periods, sometimes weeks or even months. They have no access to sunlight, limited fresh air, and very little safety. Some of them never return to the surface. This creates a hidden world beneath the ground, one that is rarely seen or understood. Number 4. Now we move into the ocean. Far below the surface lies a deep trench that reaches nearly 11 kilometers. The pressure at this depth is extreme, strong enough to crush most objects instantly. Scientists placed microphones deep underwater in this region. They expected to hear almost nothing. Instead, they detected unusual sounds. These were low-frequency noises that did not match known sources like whales or earthquakes. The exact origin of these sounds is still unknown. Even in one of the most studied environments, there are still mysteries that scientists cannot fully explain. Number 3. This is the deepest known point in the ocean, reaching more than 10,900 meters. Only a few people have ever been there. Conditions are extremely harsh. Temperatures are close to freezing, there is no light, and the pressure is immense. Despite this, life still exists. Tiny organisms survive in these conditions by feeding on particles that slowly fall from higher levels in the ocean. This shows that life can adapt to even the most extreme environments. Number 2. Here is something important to consider. Everything deeper than about 12 kilometers inside the Earth is still unknown. We have not reached it. We do not fully understand it. Scientists use indirect methods like seismic waves to study these layers, but these are only estimates. This means that a large part of our own planet remains a mystery. In many ways, we know more about distant space than we do about the deep Earth beneath us. Number 1. The deepest hole ever drilled by humans goes more than 12 kilometers down. It took many years of effort and advanced technology to reach this depth. What scientists found was surprising. The temperature was much higher than expected. The rock behaved differently, almost as if it were slowly moving rather than remaining solid. They also discovered water at depths where it was not expected to exist. Even more surprising, microscopic life forms were found in these extreme conditions. Eventually, the project had to stop. Not because of a lack of interest, but because continuing further was not possible with available technology. Today, the hole is sealed. On the surface, it appears as a small metal cover, but beneath it lies the deepest point humans have ever reached. And beyond that, thousands of meters that remain completely untouched. We often focus on exploring space and distant planets, but beneath our feet, there is a vast and largely unknown world. A world of extreme heat, intense pressure, complete darkness, and unexpected forms of life. There is still so much left to discover. So the question is simple: how deep would you be willing to go? And what do you think is really hidden below the surface?